Now let's create our keys method. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to take all of the keys out of the hash table, put them into a list, and then return that list. So in order to do that, we're going to need a for loop that goes through our data map list and then moves across to see if there's anything in any of these addresses until it gets to an address where there is something there. And then we'll have another for loop that loops through the keys in this list. All right, so let's start writing this code. We'll say keys, and then the first thing we'll do is create that list that we're going to put the keys into. I'll just call it all keys. Then we'll create the for loop that moves through the data map list, the 0 through 6. Then we'll create a second for loop to go through this list here. So we'll do that like this. Notice it's almost identical to the one on top, but we've added this here. So that creates our two for loops, but this second for loop, we only want to run it if there is something at the address. So take, for example, the index of 0 down there. There isn't anything there. 0 is none, so we don't want to run this for loop. So we're going to say only if there is something there. If it is not none, only then do you run that for loop. Then we just need to write the keys to the all keys list that we created. So we'll say all keys.append, and then we'll take the particular key that we're looking at as we're going through these for loops, and then we will add it to that list. Then the only thing left to do is to return that list. Okay, so that is our code for the keys method. So let's flip over and take a look at this in VS Code. So there is our keys method there, and this is where we create our hash table. And then here we'll add bolts, washers that we saw before. I'm adding lumber in this case. Then down here we'll say print myhashtable.keys, and that should return that list with the 3 keys in it. Okay, so I will run this, and there is our list with bolts, washers, and lumber. And that is our method for keys.